Guys, it's Austin from the Bookmark Freedom Podcast. So right now I'm going to show you a little bit about Amazon's algorithm. I'm going to show you how things work just a little bit. Now I'm doing this for a couple reasons. Because one is because I've told people that I was able to take a product, a brand new listing with no search ranking whatsoever, and take it to page 1 in 24 hours with absolutely no reviews and 1 sale. So I'm going to show you that again. I'm going to prove it here. Now, look up here real quick. This is going to be important. Today's Friday, June 16th, 2017 at 11:45 a.m. Now, that's going to be important because the second part of this is going to take place. The second part of the recording is going to take place 24 to 48 hours from now, depending how our listing reacts to what we're about to do. Now, if you compare Amazon to Google, now Google is a platform that it's a search engine, just like Amazon. Amazon's a search engine. Google ranks websites. Amazon lists products. Now Google is a very sophisticated search engine, and it looks at way more than 100 different factors when it's looking at who should be number 1, number 2, number 3. Well, if you ask most people, if you ask anybody else, they're going to tell you that Amazon is much simpler, and it's almost based solely around sales and reviews. I don't think that's correct. I've told people about this. I've talked to other podcasts. Nobody seems to really believe me, so I'm doing this test just to prove that I'm right. But Amazon is also a very complicated system, and I really think some of the things that they look at are sales and reviews. I do think sales and reviews are part of it, but also think they look at traffic and listing interaction and your listing quality and the number of items that you have for your inventory. I mean, let's think about this. Would you rather have somebody sitting in the number 1 spot who has 1,000 items for sale, or somebody who has 6 items for sale? Because as soon as they sell out, it's over, it's done. They stand to make a lot more money by having somebody who has a lot of inventory up on page 1. So I'm doing this just to show that I really think that there's a lot more to Amazon's algorithm than most people think, and I really think sometimes we overthink what it takes to get ranked. Now, last time when I did this, I paid for Google advertising. I used Google AdWords, and I just sent tons of traffic to my listing. Now, this time we're going to do something different. I'm going to see if we can do this. I'm going to see if we can go from page 13 to page 1 for $5. Now, this is Fiverr.com, and this person is going to send 2,000 website traffic for 20 days. Now, I'm going to say that I know that this is probably not real traffic. It's probably bots or some other thing. But if this guy is correct and he says real genuine social visitors with unique IP addresses, then if that's correct, then regardless if anybody buys anything from me or if anybody actually, I mean, honestly, if they just go and click on my link and stay there for 3 seconds, it's going to do what I want it to do. So I'm going to see if I can take my listing, and I'm going to show you one of my listings down here. And this is a listing that I really don't do much with. I have it here. I do have it, and if people buy it, I will send it to them. But this listing is what I use for a lot of my testing purposes and things like that. So we're going to come down here, and this is me right here, the Maverick Professional Grade Country Music Acoustic / Electric Guitar guitar hanger. And you can see I have 3 reviews, so I haven't sold a ton of these, but I'm also not trying to sell a ton of these. And you can see down here that we are on page 13 currently. We're on page 13 right now as of today. So what I'm going to do, and what I did before you got here, is I just went to Amazon and I typed in guitar wall mount. That's the keywords that I want to rank for. So then I just clicked through the pages until I found my listing, which happens to be right here. So I'm going to click on this, and then you can see my listing, you can see my images. This is actually a pretty cool guitar wall mount, so if you need a nice guitar wall mount, buy this one. So now I'm just gonna copy this link here. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna copy this link, And then I'm going to come back to Fiverr.com and I'm going to order this package. Now I know for a fact that this is not going to get me any sales. I know it's not, and that's okay. Let's see, let's pay with PayPal here. Hopefully it'll cover up all my information so I don't have to go through the hassle of trying to hide it all in a video. Okay, so this is processing and I'm paying for this this Fiverr gig. Now this Fiverr gig is going to send, it says it's going to send 2,000 people. It says it's going to send 2,000 people to my website or my link every single day for 20 days. So theoretically, if my theory is correct and traffic alone will increase my ranking, 2,000 people a day in this category really should boost my ranking back onto page 1 somewhere. Let's see, so let's answer these questions here. I don't know why they need this kind of stuff, but we'll just say other. That's fine. And then I'm just going to paste my link in here to my Amazon listing, and I'm going to start the order. Okay, so done. So it's probably going to take this person 24 hours to actually start doing this. So, but we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see when it actually happens, and we're going to monitor. We're going to monitor this. We're going to monitor this guy right here on page 13 and see if this has an impact onto this listing. My hopes are that I can teach you. Now, don't do this. Don't do what I'm doing, because I'm not doing this to get sales. I'm just doing this for testing purposes to show you. What I'm essentially simulating here is if, let's say I wanted to sell this guitar wall mount and I go to Google AdWords and I create a good advertisement based around my keywords for a guitar wall mount. I would make a listing that included guitar wall mount, guitar wall hanger, all kinds of things like that, and I would drive traffic to my site hoping to get sales, but also hoping to get the traffic in general to boost my rankings as well. So I'm essentially simulating getting large amounts of traffic through Google advertising. It's going to be the exact same thing, except I'm not going to have to spend $300 to run this test. So we're gonna, now that you've seen this, we're going to check back here in probably 48 hours or so and see what happens. We're going to see if traffic alone, with no sales, no reviews, and I'm not running advertisements or anything anywhere else. I'm not promoting this on Facebook. I'm not doing anything with this. This product has sit here and I haven't done anything with it for 3 months now, and I'm not running anything else. This one Fiverr ad is all I'm running. That's it. So we're going to see if this one Fiverr ad of just traffic and just traffic alone will actually increase my rankings. So I'm excited to see what happens, and I'll see you guys in probably 48 hours or so. Okay guys, so I'm back and I'm ready to share some results with you from this test. Now before we do that, I want to reiterate that the purpose of this test, the actual purpose of this test, was to show absolute and undeniable proof that there's a lot more to Amazon's algorithm and ranking structure than just sales and reviews. So what I want to do here real quick, this order that I did, the Fiverr order, now keep in mind I had no other advertising or anything going on. I was on page 13 and the organic traffic that I was getting was probably slim to none. So it probably played a very, very small percentage factor, if any at all, in this test. So this order was delivered on June 16th at 1908, which is 7:08. And today is June 19th at 11:40 p.m. So it's been a little over 72 hours. I let it run a little extra, and I'm going to show you why here in just a second. Now, keep in mind that I don't recommend using Fiverr gigs like this to rank up your products. I was doing this as a test to simulate some sort of pay-per-click advertising. I just wanted to do it cheaper. I didn't want to spend a ton of money to run a test. So this Fiverr gig that I ordered was supposed to provide me 2,000 clicks per day, with 90% of them being from the US. Now we're going to look and see what I actually got from this Fiverr gig. It was nowhere near what I was supposed to get. In total, for the whole 72 hours or 74 hours, whatever it ended up being, I only ended up with a total of 2,276 clicks. And out of that, only 901 of those were actually from the United States. So considering I only sell in the US, I really don't think any of these other clicks would have actually had a factor. It may have, but I really don't think so. The other thing you have to consider is that this is probably bots. So out of this 901 clicks that I got that were from the United States, this is just bots literally clicking on my link and then immediately going away. There's no listing interaction. There's no scrolling through and reading descriptions. There's no reading reviews. There's no adding to cart and then abandoning. There's no adding to wish list. There's no listing interaction, which I also think is another big part of Amazon's algorithm. So keep those factors in mind while we're going through this. Now, before we were on page 13. Now, I do the exact same thing. I go to Amazon, type in the exact same keyword that I want to rank for, get to our wall mount, and I search for that keyword. Now, before we were on page 13. Now, if you scroll down here, we're at the top right here. Here's the exact same listing, 3 reviews, everything's the exact same. This is the exact same listing that we started the test with. And we're at the top of this page, and we're actually at the top of page 6 now. Now, we have went from page 13 to the top of page 6. I'll probably flip over to bottom or middle of page 5 tomorrow, doing absolutely nothing else. I've jumped over 7 pages in this whole in this test with only this Fiverr gig, with no listing interaction, with no Google AdWords, with no Amazon advertising, with no Facebook advertising, with traffic coming from nowhere else except for that. I got 0 sales, I got 0 additional reviews, nothing else happened. The only thing that was going on here was these clicks from bots. So as you can see, if Amazon's algorithm was truly based around sales and reviews, I would still be on page 13. So there's definitely a lot more going into Amazon's algorithm than what we think and what most people think and what most people teach. So, you know, just keep that in mind when you're doing things. If you're paying for advertising and you're not getting sales, just know that the traffic you're getting is still actually doing your listing good. It's not a complete waste, even though you probably are losing money if you're not getting sales. But it's not a 100% complete waste. Now, one of the other factors that I think Amazon looks at is the sources that your traffic is coming from. You know, this bot traffic that I have is probably a very, very low quality traffic in Amazon's eyes. Now, if I were to launch a new product and I were to start Amazon advertising, Amazon pay-per-click, Google AdWords pay-per-click, Facebook pay-per-click, and there were traffic coming from multiple sources all at the same time, Amazon's going to assume that this must be an important listing. So I really think if you launch a new listing and you send traffic from multiple places of high quality traffic, you're going to jump very quickly from bottom of the barrel to page one in just 24 to 48 hours. Now, it's going to cost you a little bit of money, and it's possible that you may not get a lot of sales out of it. But once you get to page one, you can maintain page one, and you can start getting the organic sales that are coming from it and not have to spend tons of money on pay-per-click. So instead of spending $10 a day for the first, I don't know, 90 days to try to increase your ranking and get a few sales here and there as you go, maybe it's better to spend $300 over a 72-hour period and overload your listing with pay-per-click advertising and give your listing a huge boost and get it to page one almost immediately. Now, this is just my 2 cents. This is just how I see things. I look at it from a little more of a technical standpoint than most people do, but I really think there's a lot more to Amazon's algorithm than what people give it credit for. So this is my little rant. This is my little test that I ran here. It didn't get us to page one, but we also didn't get what we wanted from the Fiverr gig, and there was no other traffic or anything else going to it either. So I'm actually pretty happy with where we're at right now in just 72 hours. I'm going to continue to watch it and see if it continues to climb. I think this Fiverr gig has another 2 or 3 days left on it, so we'll see where we actually end up at the end of the day, and I'll update that in my Facebook group. So if you're watching this and you're not in my Facebook group, just go to Facebook and type in Bookmark Freedom Podcast and join the group. We'd love to have you. Check out the podcast, and I'll keep running tests and sharing my results with you, and hopefully we can learn a little something from it. All right, thanks. Have a good one.